Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Is an important topic, and in many ways the community that we again work for, the conformity infrastructure, has been established to be internationally recognised. The point of the accreditations and the testing laboratories that this is all based off was to ensure that there was international recognition for facilitating trade and so on. And you're a part in that. And I actually, just almost as a little byline, the whole notion we were just talking about of availability of training online makes us international these days. It makes us accessible from everywhere, anytime. And so that global aspect is a reality that we face. So in terms of how do we ensure the recognition? Well, for our part, with 30 years of experience around, we're pretty well known within the sector, at least. I mean, we may not be a household name, but we're well known within the sector. And our personnel certification is recognised globally. We've got certified auditors in pretty much every country around the world. To keep that up to date and so on, we work with industry groups such as a group called the IAAR, which is the Independent Association of Accredited Registrars in North America, the Association of Accredited Certification Bodies in Australia, also others like the Safe Quality Food Institute, SQFI. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that we understand the world they work in, first and foremost. We're trying to get feedback on our schemes and keeping up to date on new developments in the auditing and certification world. And that, together with our exposure to what's happening and the feedback from auditors themselves, we know that the world's changing. For example, once upon a time, automotive was a big sector for auditing, still is arguably. But when you went to an automotive plant, it would be full of people. There would be hundreds of them there. Now there aren't any. It's robotics, all robotics. So as auditors, how are we going to audit and indeed harness in our auditing artificial intelligence and robotics and things like that? So keeping up to date in the modern world is important. So we regularly review and update the certification schemes against new and revised standards and requirements. Let me give you one example, Jackie. Anti-bribery scheme is something that's pretty new, very important in certain parts of the world, and we've developed a scheme to certify auditors of that. And you can imagine that brings a set of requirements, for example, around integrity that are particularly prevalent. So as well as maintaining the traditional path of what you might call time-honoured personnel certification that aligns to ISO standards and industry expectations, we're also developing new and innovative ways to recognise achievement and to work with partners to improve the performance and, as I mentioned before, the perception of the performance, which is very important. That digital badging is one example of that. And we're striving to provide some more modern, unique certification offerings that really open up the opportunities for more auditors to be engaged, to encourage entry and to ideally reduce the complexity of getting into this. I think we've possibly been guilty of some elitism in the past, and whilst I do think there's certain satisfaction in being part of this sector, we need more people because there's a lot to be done. And so providing these focused development and career opportunities for those, whether it be with years of experience to those who are new graduates from your courses, with all this industry has to offer is really what we're about. And for training providers such as Audit Online, we provide a training provider certification that recognises both the authenticity of the training processes and the courses that you're offering, together with a recognition for those graduating from those courses to encourage them to experience this sector over a period of time. We want more graduates in to seek a meaningful career in the assessment industry. And our certification and development products are now multilingual too, to bring another asset to this, that recognising that global reach from the traditional, if you like, Western markets that we arose from, of North America and Australasia. Korea is an important market. We have the products in Korean. Arabic, as I mentioned, we've got an office up there. Spanish is another example. These are just examples. So much of what we can do needs to be done in different languages. So I make no apology that we're challenging the status quo, not because it's wrong or technically incorrect. It's far from that. It's served us really well over the years, but demands are changing and continuing to change. And in recognising that and offering appropriate auditor and training provider certification and encouraging that ongoing continual professional development, we're fulfilling our not-for-profit mission with a true belief that there's positive consequences that we believe will benefit the industry and those that rely on it. And in doing that, we're hand in hand with you as auditor training online, that we, because we're not the trainers, you're the trainers, we're providing the connections through to be able to work together to move this industry forward.
Yeah, no, that sounds great, because as a third party auditor myself, and I've been like certified like through the personnel certification scheme. Well, it might be 8 or 9 years now. I can certainly see a change over that time. And now when I renew, I know that I've got a resource there, and that resource is there to help me grow as an auditor and put me in contact with others as well. So I can certainly see the change over those years. So that's great to see. It's a nice change.
Well, that contact with peers, I think, is an important one. Is, you know, as auditors, we often do the job out in the field on our own, or perhaps with 2 or 3 of us if there's a team of us there. And it's important to be able to come back and reflect with peers on what's happening, what are the challenges and others. And that community is an important thing to nurture.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know I've probably only got 2 or 3 auditors that I sort of, phone a friend and run things by, or vent or something like that. And I think it can be a lonely world out there sometimes if you are on your own and you don't have those contacts. So
I agree. And we are establishing some communities through LinkedIn, for example, to be able to talk to peers, understand things. It's not really just about talking with us either. We may or may not be able to. Your colleagues and peers certainly will generally be able to.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks for that.